Well, today it's all about a side dish. We are going to do side dishes also for some of the other episodes, but today we are making a really delicious saffron rice. Of course, we cannot do that without having something on the side, so we're going to stuff a couple of our homemade Texas hot links on the pellet smoker. There's a link down below how to make these puppies. They're fantastic and actually pretty easy. And there's full analogy how you make your own homemade sausages, calculations, everything what you need to know. We're going to throw some on the pellet smoker and serve them with our beautiful rice. For our saffron rice, obviously we need saffron. And I have here half a liter of our homemade chicken stock, simmering ever so slightly. And be careful with saffron, a little goes a long way. This is 0.25 grams of saffron powder. If you use threads, as it's called, you could do the same, about in weight. We are going to cook 4 cups of rice or 800 grams of rice, and that means you need 1/4 of a teaspoon of saffron. But it needs to bloom. So that goes in here. All of that. Give it a little bit more heat. And just get it stirred in there. And that's gonna perfume our rice fantastically. So bring this a little bit up to a simmer. And once you have a nice little simmer like that, close it up, switch off your stove and put it aside so that can steep over there while we get started on our rice. Large pan, skillet, sauté pan, whatever. I have my rondo pot here. We're going to add a fair amount of olive oil, 3, maybe 4 tablespoons, till you get some coverage on the bottom. Then we're going to add in a couple of knobs of butter to mix it up a little bit and give it some nice flavor. I like that mixture of oil and butter. It might be a little bit heavy, but also the mixture, when you mix oil with butter, it prevents it a little bit from burning. So that's an idea. Now we're just going to melt this up.
So you do it for protection, maybe?
Yes, I'm protecting my butter from burning. That's the idea. Let that melt up. That goes pretty fast. And then in the middle, I'm going to throw in 1 finely diced white onion and let that start to sweat. And this is going nicely, and the beautiful smell of onion frying in butter, it's the best thing in the world. I love that. You're not so much a fan of it, I know that. But
That's okay, I like
I am. So, 2 cloves of garlic minced goes in the middle to get fragrant. Just like that. A healthy pinch of salt. Freshly cracked white pepper. And you want to do this now because you want it to fry a little bit, the spices. And then we are going in with some cumin. I would say half a tablespoon, maybe even a tablespoon of cumin, depending how much you like it. You can dial that up and down yourself. And then not to forget turmeric. And again here, probably teaspoon and a half, I would say. Something like that.
That would be very aromatic, huh?
Oh, it will.
Very nice.
It will. And then we give this a good stir. You see the color from the turmeric, if you can, from the top there. It gets all yellow and orange here. Gonna give a beautiful color to our dish. Just let the spices fry just for a tad. And then we go in with the 4 cups of rice, or about 800 grams, because we want to fry them a little bit. There's a little bit of water still. I forgot to mention that they have been rinsed thoroughly. You have to rinse your rice until the rice and the water runs clear. That's quite important, because if you have starch on the rice, then you get these sticky rice, and that's not what we want here. We want fluffy rice at the end. Give it a little bit more heat. We want to fry this not as far as you would risotto, but you want to give it a little bit of
good color.
Yeah, exactly. And when you get a little bit of a scent of not fried rice, but frying dry rice in the air, then they are very good and they're ready to go. You see now, nice. Then we go in with 1 liter of chicken stock here. Same as before, the homemade chicken stock. And of course, not to forget, our saffron-infused chicken stock. So the analogy here is you have 4 cups of rice, 800 grams, to 1.5 liter of chicken stock. And now we bring this to a simmer. But already look at the color on this. This is going to be very beautiful and very aromatic. Sometimes you have to focus on your side dishes. Bring this up to a simmer. And when we have this at a nice simmer like now, don't bring it to a roaring boil, just a nice simmer. We cover it up and turn it down to the lowest setting. And you let it there very slightly simmer for 18 minutes. While this is simmering away here, we are gonna make a little bit of a Persian-inspired topping for this. We are going in with some roasted pistachios. And we're gonna take them out on our cutting board here, and then we're gonna run our knife through them. Don't give them too much here because they become to dust or crumble up totally if you go too crazy. You want some texture here and some pieces of nut. That's gonna give a nice flavor to the top and crunch. That's gonna be very nice. There we are. I think that looks good.
Yeah.
That
Keep
looks
it
good.
like that.
So bench scraper back in the same bowl, if I can. And on the same board, I'm gonna take a bit of parsley. I don't want all of it, but let me just take the, let's say the top half here. And that we are gonna do the same. Just in with your knife, pivot. That's gonna add some green and also a little bit of flavor to our topping. I think that looks good to me. Now we're gonna grab this, do the same, into our little bowl, like this. And then we're just gonna give it a mix.
And that you sprinkle raw.
On top,
At the end.
raw on top, exactly. Like crunchy green.
Nice.
So there we are. That's ready to go. Now it's just a question of throwing some links on the pellet smoker and we can see the rice when it's done. 18 minutes passed. Let's switch them off and see how we are doing. Whoopty! Look at that color. That is beautiful. Now all we want to do is fluff them up here. You see, nice, beautiful. We want to fluff them so they absorb. There is a little bit of liquid left, which that will be absorbed as they just cool down while we wait for our sausages.
Time to test, guys.
Absolutely. And we need some of the crumb on top, of course, because that with the pistachios, I'm curious on that one. So there we go.
Yeah, I want to taste also with the pistachios.
That is nice, perfumed. And with the pistachios, it's really good. That gives a nice texture to the rice, and they're perfectly fluffy.
They're very nice, but it could be a little bit more flavored. Like throw in some leaves of laurel, maybe.
Rind of
boost
parmesan.
it.
Even.
Yeah, something. It's nice. It's mild.
It's perfumed.
It's
Well,
family friendly. Don't
That
have
it
an
is.
issue there.
you have to think about with saffron that it perfumes the dish. You can easily overpower, and then it's just a waste of saffron. So
Yeah.
balance it, but it's nice.
Excellent side dish. Give it a shot.